Have you ever woken up in the morning only to try to speak and realize, uh-oh, I'm sick? And you have to sing that day? Oh, lady, oh, welcome to Deconstructing the Voice. This week I thought I would talk about various techniques and strategies that I use when I'm sick to be able to use my voice to its full ability. Granted, there are times when being sick, your voice is just absolutely unusable. Thankfully for me, I don't have any performances coming up. All I'm really doing at the moment vocally is my channel, which actually I'm enjoying very much. Um, this whole winter, I decided not to take several contracts so that I could devote more time to making these videos fairly regularly. The most important thing is understanding when your voice is usable versus when your voice is not usable. My sickness lately, I think it was a type of cold that I had. I did not go to the doctor. I've just been taking it. It hasn't been much more than congestion, nasal congestion with drainage. That can be very tricky to deal with vocally because if you have the drainage and it does go into your vocal mechanism, it can cause a lot of excess fluid buildup, which will lead to changes in your vocal timbre. So, number one, make sure you can sing or speak appropriately. If you cannot, vocal rest, vocal rest. If you can afford it, if you have the free ability to just stay home and be a hermit and not speak to anyone, 24 hours of vocal rest can cure a lot of very serious issues. Um, However, if you are sick and it's drainage which is happening, which is dripping onto the cords, causing edema, excess fluid buildup, then the way that you warm up is very important. And warming up in a way that can help, expunge a lot of that excess fluid is good. So my preferred way of warming up in the morning when it's not exactly working and I'm like, uh-oh, I need to be careful, is to first do voiceless lip trills. So it does a lot of good things. First, it makes sure that your breath is working at least. Because if your breath isn't working and your cords are already wonky, you're not going to get a very good sound. So this gets the airflow moving in a very stable, laminar way. And the vibration does warm up the vocal mechanism a bit. You're not actually using your cords, but this is kind of like, hey, wake up. It's like a gentle shaking awake of your cords. So once I feel fairly confident with the lip trills, sometimes I'll do it 5 times in a row, just take it very slow, very gentle. Then I'll start to vocalize, and you should vocalize just in a comfortable pitch. So I'll do that again one more time. So what I'm doing is I'm starting at a comfortable pitch and I am sliding, super sliding, like very sloppy, up to a high note, holding the high note, and then sliding right back down. So then, once I'm comfortable with the up and down with just the plain lip trills, then I'll start to open up on 3 specific vowels: ah, o, and e. E because it is the most forward closed vowel, ah because it is the widest, most open vowel, and o is a nice mix in between. And the very closed front vowels have a total different sensation and feel from the opened vowels. So I'll do it like very slidey. So that was opening to an E. I would do that maybe 5 times. and then finally. So the whole point of this exercise is not to actually sound pretty. It's more to make sure that the airflow is first going steadily so you can maintain the lip trills, and then you can just open up to either a closed vowel or an open vowel, have the air stream stay constant while your vocal cords are engaged and you're able to it's very nice warm up. If lip trills are not your thing, there are other possibilities. Tongue trills, so like a rolled R in Spanish, and you can go open up to the various vowels. The other one is lip bubbles, which is where you stick your tongue out in a relaxed way. And you let the air escape between your lower lip and your tongue. It's the hardest one to open up on. Just because the tongue is already out of the way. And then so opening up to the vowels, it's very tricky, very tricky. If you are finding that you're unable to do lip trills or tongue trills or lip bubbles, don't feel bad. It's very common. I would say almost 80% of the students that I have introduced this to in voice lessons tend to not be able to do all of them. I have met many students who can't do any of those. So for those students, what I recommend is just to do light humming. So and the point of this hum, and I am getting closer to the microphone because it should be very quiet. I actually most recently I had a student call this ghost humming. So you go and you want to maintain that very smooth sound quality. The only problem with this type of humming is that it is harder to tell whether or not the airstream is where it should be. Lip trills, tongue bubbles, lip bubbles, and tongue trills are much better in being able to gauge airflow rate and make sure that it has a consistency to it. Then I get more ambitious. You can go ahead and mix and match these together. You can do lip trills up and tongue trills down, tongue trills up, lip bubbles down. So it's hard to transition into and out of the tongue trills, but you see what I'm saying. You can mix and match them. It's very nice, very nice. So if while doing a very slidey, a pitch slide, and you find that your voice is breaking, there could be many reasons for that. It will sound something like uh, 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 my voice right now is not actually experiencing that type of an issue, so that's the best I can approximate at the moment. So it's like doing an exercise like a wrist rotation. So you have your wrist and then you are rotating it in a circle. If you are practiced and your wrist is in fairly good condition, you can do it smoothly and slowly, where someone who may not be doing this often or is out of practice will find that it'll tend to have like stops and catches in the motion. So that's what you want to kind of iron out, that with these slides up and down. So I had a tiny little bit there, but that's what you want instead of That would be an example of a less than ideal hum. 1. Start with voiceless trills. 2. Gentle vocalizations at a comfortable pitch level, up and down, very smooth slides. 3. Open up to vowels. Bra, bro, bri. And I recommend doing that 5 times for each vowel. 4. Go into tongue trills. Repeat the same. And lip bubbles. If you do all of these exercises for an adequate number of reps, you should start to feel better if your voice is mostly just affected by overnight congestion due to your illness. However, there are other types of illnesses that you need to watch for. So if you have been doing this for 10 minutes and you're not noticing your voice improving, it could be something else. In my own personal health experience with singing, I find that if it is not congestion that has caused my vocal issues, it tends to be something more insidious like reflux. Perhaps I had a reflux attack in the middle of the night. And I find that with reflux, since reflux involves having very corrosive acids around the larynx, that it can cause what I call a vocal corrosion. And I find that when I've had a significant reflux episode, I cannot speak for that day, because even the act of speaking, no matter how gentle, will induce damage into my cords. And for that, there's no warm-up I can do in order to improve my voice. The only thing I can do is to prevent further damage from occurring. So it's best to know your own voice, get to know it. Don't be scared of singing while sick, but just understand that you do need to be more careful if you are to sing while sick, or if you are to speak or record a video while sick. Understand your voice is going to tire a lot sooner, and you probably will not sound nearly as pretty. Just be aware that caution needs to be taken in order to make sure that you don't hurt yourself. And also, don't let yourself get frustrated because you'd like to sound better. Don't try to force it. With time, you can learn your own limitations, and understanding your own limitations is the best thing you can do to learn how to overcome being sick and having to sing at the same time. If you like this, please please subscribe. Thank you for watching Deconstructing the Voice, and hopefully next time you watch my video, I will be sounding better and feeling much better.